Hi, my name is Sapphire Haeward, and today I'm going to teach you how to create a React Native Expo app. We're going to make a simple page, and we're going to get right into it. In this video, I will be teaching you the main basic working parts of a React Native app. So you have the imports at the top of the page, the main function, and the two components that go, the main components that go within inside of the main function, that being the functions that are at the top, and the return statement that renders the items actually physically onto the page. So let's get right into it. So here's how we're going to start this. I have a project, a folder on my desktop on one screen, and I have the emulator, the Android emulator, and the Visual Studio Code window on another screen. So I'm just going to drag my project folder onto Visual Studio Code, drop it, and let it come out, and it will show up right away. You can ignore those things that I have there. So now the very first thing that we're going to do is create an Expo app. And how do we do that? We simply type npx create -expo -app. And that will create us an Expo app. You have to give it a name. So here we're just going to call it project-1. So we wait for it to install. And if you don't see that window in your computer, just open the terminal and just select new terminal, and you'll get a new terminal that will just show up for you. So it's installing. Great. Okay, so now our project is ready, as you can see on the screen. So what we're going to do now is, because we are not in the project folder that we just called project-1, we are still in the main folder outside of that called project-1. We're going to navigate into that. So change directory into project-1. Now we're in project-1. Cool. So the next step is to look at the project, right? Here you see on the side here all of these folders that have many things in them. Yes, this folder that has many folders and files in it. Right, so you have app. This is where the main app is. You have assets, you have components, you have constants, you have hooks, and you have node modules, you have scripts, get-ignore, app.json, package-lock.json, package.json, readme, and its TypeScript configuration. However, in this app, you can use either TypeScript or JavaScript. Before, there used to be a tedious and long questionnaire that you had to fill out every time you created an app, but now that's gone, and all of the packages, the necessary packages that you need to install, are now installed already inside the package for you. So we're gonna just get right into it. I'm gonna show you what it looks like to run a brand new clean Expo app. So here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna go to this next terminal that we already created here. If you wanted to build one, you could just click this plus button and that will get you there. Anyway, and so we're just going to type npx expo start -c. And we do that. Oh, right, we're not in the project on this terminal. So we're going to go to the project folder again, project-1, and then we're going to do this exact same thing again, npx expo start -c. And this is what's going to allow Expo to run on the emulator on the side there. So starting the project. Cool. So it says, using Expo Go, switch to development build, open Android, open iOS simulator, open web, open debugger, reload app, toggle menu, more tools, open project code in your editor. So my computer, I am building 2 apps, Alert and Selfies, you can see over here. So I am not going to install Xcode or be using Xcode on this computer to run iOS apps. But I will show you on this Android emulator here. So here we go. Okay. So this is what our project 1 looks like. And as you can see, it's just bundling. It's preparing itself, getting ready on the screen, running. And there you go. This is what it looks like. This is what an empty, brand new app looks like that has never been edited before. This says, you can edit tabs, index.tsx to see changes, press Command plus M to open developer tools, explore, get a fresh start. Yeah, all right. So what we're going to do is none of this, all right? We are going to edit the main page today. We're going to create a very simple page. And at the end of the day, at the end of our page, we are simply going to have a page that is pink with a button that triggers confetti. Okay, so here we go. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do to get the confetti effect before we actually code it in is install a package that's going to allow you to be able to use that effect, right? So first we're going to, change our directory back to the main project, project-1. And then in project 1, we're going to put npm install React Native Confetti Canyon. Great. So there it says installed perfectly. So, right. After this, we're going to import the Confetti Canyon at the top of the page. Import Confetti Canyon. Confetti Canyon. Well, it auto-finished for us, so we're just going to take it from React Native Confetti Canyon. Great. Okay, so an important thing to note is that even though you're in the main function, at the top of the function before the return statement, the return statement is where all of the image of the page gets rendered. So all of the views, let's try and autocorrect. All of the views, the text, and all of the actual physical components that you can see visually on the page, they're all inside of the return statement. And the functionality of the actual code and all the functions that you need to use to actually run it are right above the return statement. So you'll have functions up top here and render down here. So what we're going to do first, before we do all this, since we've already got a page, we are going to hit save and reload this page into this instead. See, so now when you hit save, you can see the word index, but it's all the way at the top corner of the emulator, top left corner of the emulator, where you can barely even see it, right? This page is not well structured yet, so there's nothing really there. It is one word. So we're just going to add more words to it. So what we can do is import StyleSheet from React Native, as well as Pressable, which will allow you to create buttons, right? And underneath here, we're going to create const styles equals StyleSheet.create. You can see this autocorrect is very eager to help us build this entire thing. So we're going to build 4 styles in advance, right? We're going to build a container. Then we're also going to build a title. Woo. Then we're going to build button style. And then we're going to build a button text. Well, the first thing that we're going to do is change this index to, say, my first Expo app. And put some emojis. Under this, we're going to put a pressable, and the pressable is going to have a style. Styles.button, right? Well, this is essentially exactly what we're going to do. Right? In React Native, when we code, we call these things here within the return statement components. And the functionality within the components that affects the way that it works, these are called props. So inside of every React Native component, you have props, and props are properties. So they allow you to manipulate and control each component in the way that you need to. All right, so in this button, when it says on press, it means that this is going to be what triggers when you actually click this pressable, right? Styles.button pertains to this style that we're about to put in here to theme it. And this text here is going to be what's written on the actual button. So it says press me, but we're just going to change that to something more fun, like celebrate, with a picture of a confetti cannon. Perfect. Okay, so in addition to this, we're going to place a function in here, up here, like where we just described that it would go earlier, because that's where all the functions go. That is going to trigger this button and cause the confetti cannon to run. So in addition to importing React from React, we're also going to need to use useState, right? So useState is what allows us to control the state and value, the actual value of a variable within the script. Okay, so we're at the point now where the button is here, but the styles now are still empty and do not exist. So we're going to fill in the styles for the button. Put a nice background color on it. It says blue. We are not going to use blue. We are going to use what I set out to use. So we're going to type background color, colon, open quote, hashtag FF69B4, close quote. And it is a beautiful magenta color. How wonderful. Next, we are going to use padding vertical. They said 15, we can run with that. Padding horizontal, we were going to do padding horizontal 30 anyway, and border radius 25. So, well, we can take this and just kill margin top for now. We might need it later, but kill it for now, and 25. Okay. And hit load. And there you go. We have a celebrate button at the top of the page, such that when you click it, it logs down beneath button pressed. So now we're at the point where we actually need that margin top that we just deleted just now. But what does margin top mean? It means it's going to push this button down further, so that you can actually, like, you know, see it like in the middle of the page rather than it being all the way at the top, because why would you want it at the top of the page, right? Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do after that is style the text, because it's all the way up in the corner here and you still can't see it. So the title, right? We'll just copy this from here, styles button text, paste this into here, and instead of it being button text, we're gonna have it be title. And for the title, we're gonna put position absolute, top 100, font size 30 sounds good. Font weight, which will define whether or not it's going to be bold. As you can see over here in the corner, normal, 100, 300, bold, light, ultra light, thin, and more, right? But we're just going to go with bold since this is the title. And leave this extra space here and hit save. And see, now it's bigger and further down the page and you can actually see it. So, yes. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to do is style the button text, the text that is literally inside of this button. And we're going to show you where it's going to change the text so it can be like positioned differently inside of this button. So inside this part here, it says button text. We're just going to change it. Well, the color would be a great place to start. This will make it white. Font size, can make it 18. I don't have a problem with it being bold, so I will accept those stylings. Boom, there, now it is big and, you know, white. So now, what do we do to make it in the center? So I suppose we can do align items and center. And okay, that doesn't work. I'm gonna have to cut that out. Let me see. Okay, so let's pick back up where we left off. Yeah, So now we're going to code the center, the button into the center of the page, and we're going to code the button text also into the center of the page. So we're going to do align self center, align self center. And that's going to take the text and put the text into the center of the button. After that, we're going to take the actual button and we are going to replicate this exact same parameter and use it again to style the button into the center of the page so that it doesn't stretch across the page from all the way from the left side all the way to the right. So watch what happens, observe. So now it's become more compact. After that, we are going to style some more this title so that it looks a little, better, right? So we're just going to put margin left, or no. Actually, we can do this exact same thing again. Align self, center. Simple. And there we go. It's into the center of the page. Okay, so after being interrupted for the 50,000th time, now we are going to put in a function that controls the confetti cannon, the same confetti cannon that we imported up here and that we installed in our project earlier. And how are we going to do that? We are going to create a function, arrow function right here that controls that. And in order to create this function, we are going to need to use a state. So here's one little final piece that we must always do before putting in a function that controls state. We are going to need to create a state first. And how do we do this? We use this const. This is exactly what we needed. Show confetti, set show confetti. And this, when we start, the state will be false at first. So we just tab on over and we accept const show confetti and set show confetti. This is the function that that is going to change the state and adjust the state. So the adjusting state function, if you will. And the beginning of the state will start with false. So let's get started on the function. Our function, we're going to call it const handle celebrate is cool. We can do that. Const handle celebrate. Or we could also use handle press, but that's okay. We'll just use handle celebrate. So this is how you do the function. You define the function with the name, then you close the arrow, then you use these two parentheses together, and then you form an arrow with your equal sign and this greater than sign, and then you open the function like this, and you can also close it like that. All right, so the very first thing that we're going to need in our function is when we click this button that says celebrate over here, when we click this button, we want that it turns our state to be true so that it causes the confetti cannon, which we're going to hook up to it, to act. So we want set show confetti cannon to be true, right? And then after the confetti cannon ends, we want to reset the cannon so that it can trigger again, right? So we are going to do set timeout, exactly open this exact our function like this, and we're going to set it to be false, and we're going to set a time to be 2000 milliseconds and close the function, and that's going to be that. So now when we hit save and we hit this button celebrate, oh yes, right, still not only the button pressed comes up log because we have not connected the actual function to it, right? So now we're going to have to run this function. How do we do that? We simply take our function from up here, handle celebrate. As it said down here, it already knows what we want to do, and we put that there, we close the function, and that's that. So when we hit celebrate now, Still no confetti hole. Oh, right. We have to also define the part of the visual page that allows the confetti to be shown, right? So what do we want to be seen? What do we want to actually happen when the confetti gets triggered, right? So we just type show confetti, right? Because this is, no, show confetti, because this is our state that we have up here. So show confetti, and then, and, because this is going to be a conditional, a conditionally rendered object, right? So conditionally rendered incidents on the screen. So when we click this, we want this to happen, and then we want it to stop happening, right? We want to be able to control when it happens and when it doesn't happen. So we open the bracket, and then this is exactly literally what we want. We want confetti cannon, the very exact same package that we imported here from React Native confetti cannon. We want it to be placed down here. So it says, okay, cool, confetti cannon, count 200. Origin, this is going to be the positioning of the confetti cannon on the screen. We want it to fade out, and then we want the fall speed to be determined. So it's going to take 3 seconds for all the confetti to fall once we're done, right? So when this is true, this is going to trigger, essentially, is what I'm saying. Okay, so earlier I had made a typo where it said canon with 1 N. So I fixed it just now to canon with 2 N's. All right, so now it works when you click this button here. It says, you can see in the top left corner of the screen, and you click really quickly, and you look, it pops off, but it happens so quickly that you can barely see anything. So we're going to slow it down. Okay, I'm back after being interrupted for the 1 millionth time now. Now, sorry, so sorry about that. But now we're going to render the button, right? So here's what we're going to do. So the fall speed right now, you saw in the corner it triggered, and then it went up to the top, and the confetti started falling. It took a long time to fall. It's because this is like too long. All right, so instead of that, we're just gonna change this to 3 seconds instead of how it was at 10 seconds earlier. Then we're going to hit the celebrate button again, right? And there you go. This time, the confetti falls, but what we're missing is the confetti reaching the bottom of the page now. How are we going to do that, right? The next thing that we're going to do is create this other style that we left out here, and it's still empty, right? So it's hard if I finish this before they come back, right? We're going to put in these parameters into this container style so that we can fit it to the full screen and change the background color of the screen from blue to a cute, pretty pink. Okay, so the first thing we want to do is flex 1, so it affects the whole screen, right? And the background color, right? We want it to be not white. We want it to be FF D6 E7, and that will be a nice, cute pink, right? And we want to justify the content to the center of the page. So after we have done that, now we're going to add another view up top here. View. That's exactly it. View style equals styles dot container. Let's not trust my spelling skills right now. It's, everybody makes mistakes. All right, so come back down here. We're going to close this view with a second view right here so that it can collapse like this, nice and cleanly. Apply that to the center of the page, And this does not give us the desired result at all. So what we're going to do is remove the outside view, because once this is gone, we will get the view that we want. And just like that, voila, magic. There we go. So here we have our cute little title and it says celebrate, and it's going to trigger our confetti. This might be taking a little too long. Maybe I should make this 2 seconds instead. Trigger our confetti, and there we go. It falls down to the page. What in the world? What in the world? What in the world? Hold on. Explosion speed. And we have colors. Oops, you already gave me your props, right? Beautiful. Okay, so instead, we're just going to adjust the count to 300, adjust the fall speed to 750, and adjust the time to 2 seconds, right? So that the timeout will be 2 seconds. So when we have this function here, let's explain this really clearly. The exterior of the body of the function is what allows handle celebrate to be called down below here when you press this button here. Then it sets show confetti to be true. So this useState here will, the state will change from false to being true. And when it is true, this here will render. Where it says show confetti, the confetti cannon will render, right? So when it shows that it's true, you can see the confetti, right? And then it sets a timeout over this next function here, which is set show confetti false. So it will wait 2 seconds, 2000 milliseconds, which is 2 seconds, to time out the entire function, right? And then it will run set show confetti false. So it will force show confetti to be false after this 2 seconds is up. So that means this will only last for 2 seconds. Set show confetti will only be true for 2 seconds. Cool? So let's revise everything we just did, guys. So we just created an Expo app in this terminal here, right? Then we knew that we were going to use confetti cannon for our project as written on the 3rd line. So we installed that package into our app after we redirected and change the directory into the folder where our app currently is. So we used npm to install the confetti cannon. After that, we imported it inside of the program, and we made use of useState from React to manipulate the state of the confetti in order to build a function that will trigger it. Then we built the render down here and the button that uses the state for the confetti cannon, as well as the container, the title, and the external, and the styles that go with it. And that is how you build a simple page in React Native. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure that you like it and repost it, or share it with your friends or somebody who might find it useful. Thanks for watching. Have a good day.